May I also have the kind attention of all our eminent speakers of the conference. We request you to kindly load your presentations with us if you have any. Also, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to request all our distinguished participants who are present here with us today that before you all leave the venue, we request you to kindly deposit your lanyards at the reception, at the registration counter, so that we can reuse them, recirculate them. And this is a small endeavor from our side to save wastage and save the environment. Thank you.
To suit buildings.
Namaskar, good morning, and a very warm welcome to the 10th Annual Conference of Cloud Data Center India 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, as is customary, we begin every ceremony with the auspicious lamp lighting, and I have the privilege in inviting our distinguished dignitaries to join us on the stage to light the ceremonial lamp. I invite our special guest of honor, Shri Arvind Kumar, Director General, Software Technology Parks of India. A very warm welcome to you, sir. I invite our guest of honor, Shri Atul Sinha, DDG BTU, Department of Telecommunications, Government of India. I invite our special guest, Shri Golok Kumar Simli, Principal Advisor and CTO, Passport Seva Program, Ministry of External Affairs. I invite our keynote speaker, Mr. Prashant Oberoi, Director India and SAC Norden Communication, Ms. Bhikshaka Bhattacharya, Head Public Policy, AWS India and South Asia. I invite Dr. S.N. Gupta, Senior Office Bearer of Broadband India Forum, Brigadier Anil Tandon, Director General Broadband India Forum, and Mr. Shashidharan, Managing Director, Bharat Exhibitions.
Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakareshu.
And let's put our hands together on the ceremonial inauguration of the 10th Annual Conference of Cloud Data Center India 2024.
Pati Namo Namaha Shri Siddhi Vinayak Namo Namaha Ashta Vinayak Namo Namaha Ganapati Bappa Moria Mangala Murti Moria Om Ganapati Namo Namaha Shri Siddhi Vinayak Namo Namaha Ashta Vinayak Namo Namaha Ganapati Bappa Moria Mangala Murti Moria Om Ganganapati Namo Namaha Sri Siddhi Vinayak Namo Namaha Ashta Vinayak Namo Namaha Ganapati Bappa Moria Mangala Murti Moria Om Ganganapati Namo Namaha.
Thank you very much indeed for doing the honors. May I request for a group photograph with the lamp. A group photograph, please. Thank you very much indeed for doing the honors of formally inaugurating the conference. I would request our dignitaries to kindly take their seats on the stage. A warm welcome to the 10th Annual Cloud Data Center India Conference 2024. This milestone event brings together visionaries, industry leaders, policymakers, and innovators to discuss our theme of the year, Next Generation Cloud and Data Centers Powering the Digital Transformation in India, which is being organized by Bharat Exhibitions along with Broadband India Forum, supported by Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, Government of India, presented by Norden and powered by AWS. As we all know, the data centers and cloud infrastructure are the backbone of India's Digital India mission, driving rapid innovation and transformation across various sectors. Today we have a distinguished lineup of speakers who will address the critical aspect of this mission, from regulatory frameworks to technological advancements, guiding us towards a sustainable digital economy. And to begin this important event, it is my pleasure to invite Mr. Shashidharan, Managing Director of Bharat Exhibitions, for the welcome address. Mr. Dharan has been a driving force behind this conference, passionately promoting the growth of India's data center and cloud industry. Today he will be sharing the vision for the future of cloud and data centers in India. So please join me in welcoming Mr. Shashidharan.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A warm welcome to the 10th edition of Cloud and Data Center event. As you know, Bharat Exhibition has been organizing various B2B conferences in the IT and telecom and cybersecurity industry for the last 21 years. So this is going to be the 22nd years we are continuing with the events. And I welcome all the dignitaries on the dais to discuss this important topic, the cloud and data center. As you know, we've been reading on a daily basis the kind of business which is going to boom for the data center industry. As per the studies, the growth rate is 8% reaching $8 billion by 2025. So there is a good news for us, and how to achieve this, how to grab this business. We all are waiting for this. So we have an experts on this industry on the dais sitting to how do we achieve this in the country. As you know, our Yashasvi Prime Minister and his team is working on a 24-hour basis how to increase our growth in the world map. Having said that, there are challenges. Huge country, big population, various languages, but still India is one. That's the beauty we have. And having said that, I don't want to spend much of a time. I just wanted to put one topic, that skilled people, we're still lacking on that in this, especially in India. So we need to do how to increase the skilled people to achieve this challenge. Thank you so much. We'll listen to the experts how this data center business is growing and what are their plans. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much indeed for those warm words of welcome. And next, ladies and gentlemen, we have the introductory address by Dr. S.N. Gupta from the Broadband India Forum. With a wealth of experience in broadband policy and infrastructure, Dr. Gupta is well regarded for his contributions to India's digital landscape. We would now like to request you, sir, to kindly provide insights into the broadband infrastructure landscape and its role in supporting India's cloud and data center ecosystems. So let's put our hands together to welcome Dr. S.N. Gupta for the introductory address.
Thank you, Sapna. Good morning, everyone. Distinguished Mr. Arvind Ji, Director General STPI, our chief guest for the day. Mr. Atul Sinha Ji, DDG DOT, our guest of honor, and all the dignitaries on the dais, delegates from government, friends from industry, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning to all of you. It's indeed a great honor and privilege for me to be speaking today on this important event that is one of the most important driver of digital transformation across the entire country, the subject of data centers and cloud infrastructure. These technologies are not just the backbone of modern business operations, but they are the very engines propelling India's digital ambitions forward towards Viksit Bharat, as is envisioned by our Honorable Prime Minister. Actually, as you know, Digital India initiative was launched in 2015 by the same Prime Minister Modi ji, with a purpose to make India a digitally empowered society and a knowledge economy. At the heart of this vision and the digital transformation is the infrastructure that is called data center and cloud ecosystem. The data center industry is seeing significant expansion in India due to the rise in data consumption and generation of data. As you know, India is the most number one actually data generating country, and 20% of the total world's data actually gets generated in India or consumed in India. 1/5 of the total world's data. And some of the factors which are driving the data center growth in India are very important to be mentioned. RBI mandate of strong financial data in India, like you have to store all the personal data in India only, that is the RBI mandate. Increased digitalization and internet penetration. We have 1.2 billion internet users, and out of them 950 million are actually broadband users. Government initiatives and policies promoting data center development, rise in cloud computing services, demand for data storage, and now this DPDP Act actually, which also hints towards localization of data. So according to this one report by CNW, the total capacity of India's data centers in the major cities only 1 gigawatt actually. As you know, the data center capacities are measured in the power consumption, not on the bandwidth or storage capacity. But looking to the experience, it will be growing to 2 gigawatt, that means doubling by 2028. And its potential for the contribution to GDP is very high at a rate of 10% actually, which is likely to become 11.6 billion by 2032 from the 4.5 billion. Actually, today only the Deputy Governor of RBI have mentioned, actually the digital economy of the country, which will be fueled by data centers and cloud, will add not just 2 trillion or 3 trillion, 7 to 10 trillion to the GDP actually. That means the ambition of 7 trillion by 2030 actually will be majorly contributed by digital economy and data centers. Actually, and in case of the data center growth to the Indian economy, main 2 things. One, like Shashi also mentioned, the job creation. The data centers will always create the jobs in addition to other indirect growth. And the second thing is they will also attract the increased foreign investment. That is also the goal of the government is first employment generation, job generation, and then also to attract the foreign direct investment. And it is not only the investment, but also technology transfers, knowledge sharing, and development of supporting infrastructure. All these things, the aim is actually, and that is also vision of our Honorable Prime Minister, that India should emerge as a global data center hub. Actually, till now we were IT hub or outsourcing hub, but Prime Minister idea is like 6G. He is telling India should be a leader, which we already have become actually. The same thing PM wants, in global data center also we should be the leader. We should become a hub of global data center. In addition to that, rise of edge computing is also adding this. And then there is one thing which is very, very important, where the data center capability or capacity are measured, that is on the power. So power consumption by data center is a matter of concern, though it tells how big we are, but that also means we are consuming more power. So luckily there are a lot of technology. I think this conference, I hope, will be discussing that there are advances in the renewable energy sources, efficient cooling systems, AI modular design, energy efficient hardware, and also to reduce the environmental impact. So that is what I think should be debated more than anything else actually. How to reduce the power consumption. And one idea I'll give from my side, actually, if you can permit the data centers or the cloud service provider directly get a dark fiber from the IP1, infrastructure provider one. Today they are allowed to give only to the licensed operator. According to me, the data center also as CSP is a licensed operator. So if a IP1 can give directly fiber to a data center, and then it can be actually plugged into the server or whatever networking equipment you have through SFE, then lot of power saving happens actually. And that is a very simple thing. The government, I think the chief guest Arvind ji will also throw some light on that because he is from that side. So that can itself reduce the power consumption and make it more efficient. Also, the other thing is about the economic growth, creating the opportunity and citizen access to digital services. But in the end, I like to mention one more thing, and that is about the security issues. Whenever you talk about a data, or whenever we talk about the cloud, so always security, cyber security, the data loss, data protection are always the issue. In data center also, this issue will have to be handled actually. It will be handled. Actually, I have just read about a technology which I'll just mention, that is called data space. Data space is adopted all over the world in developing country. EU have actually passed the act on that. And GDPR was actually enabled through data space. So I'll not be talking more about that actually. Even I will, because time is not there, I'll request all of you to ask ChatGPT about the data space because she knows more than me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed, sir, for sharing those insightful remarks and for the introductory address. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have the privilege to invite for the keynote address Mr. Prashant Oberoi, Director for India and SAARC at Norden Communications. Mr. Oberoi has played a key role in shaping communication solutions across the region, and we would request you, sir, to kindly throw some more light on the transformative impact of the next generation data centers on India's digital economy. So please join me in welcoming Mr. Prashant Oberoi.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning, friends. It is a pleasure to be here, and thanks to Bharat exhibition, and very special thanks to Shashi sir for giving this opportunity to be presenting the keynote. It is a pleasure here as we explore this topic, which is pivotal to India's growth story, the role of data centers and the cloud infrastructure in advancing the Digital India mission. As we all know, Digital India mission is more than just a government initiative. It is a vision that is transforming where technology empowers every citizen. It touches life in some way or the other. At the core of this transformation, it lies the data. Vast amount of data generated daily and our ability to harness it through the resilient cloud and data center infrastructure. Today, we are witnessing a huge growth in this sector. To support this expansion, the Indian government has introduced a comprehensive data center policy, along with the streamlined single window clearance system. These initiatives are aimed at simplifying the approvals which are required for this industry to grow and enabling the swift operations. Let's just consider what's the data center story looking like. Today we have tier 3 data centers. As of last year, we have about 900 megawatts of capacity of data centers. And we are talking about within 5 years, it will grow to 3.3 gigawatt at an impressive CAGR of 16.2%. More importantly, tier 4 data centers are expected to grow even at a higher CAGR of 29.54, going from 200 megawatts to 1.3 gigawatts in next 5 years. Smartphone usage has increased from 800 million couple of years back to close to, it is expected to touch 1.2 billion in next 5 years. which is compounding growth of 5.52%. This surge in along with this, the surge in initiative like Make in India is driving the demand for data and consequently the data center infrastructure. The telecom revolution led by players like Jio and Airtel has dramatically reshaped India's internet industry. Additionally, government encouragements of digital payment and online services has fueled the demand for data further. 5G adoption is further expected to take consumptions of all Indian users, and it is increasing day by high data-intensive applications like OTT, and this strengthens the case for more data centers. Now, with that comes the challenges of the data sovereignty and localization as well. As we navigate through this regulatory landscape, it is crucial to recognize that data sovereignty requires data to be governed by the laws of the country and where it is collected. For India, this concept holds growing significance as we prioritize the protection of our citizens' data. The DPDP Act is an essential step in this direction. The Act governs the processing of digital personal data in a way that respects individual privacy while addressing the need for lawful data processing as well, a balance crucial for protecting the individual rights and fostering the digital growth. Looking ahead, what it holds future for cloud data center and Indian digital economy, we are on brink of remarkable transformation. Emerging trends like server virtualization, edge computing, hybrid cloud, intelligent monitoring, automation, AI driving a major thing, hyperscale data centers, chip-level security, 5G networks, green data centers are reshaping how we think and operate our data centers. The shift towards sustainability especially is pivotal as we strive to balance the growth with environmental responsibility as well. As sir said, power will play a major role in data centers consuming huge amount of power. We have seen this in certain countries where they have to bring in laws that no further new data centers will be created, like Singapore had to put a stop to it. So we have to consider the power implications and the green initiatives along with it so that we don't land up into a situation where we have to stop the growth of this sector. In conclusion, the role of data center and cloud infrastructure is driving India's Digital India mission cannot be overstated. The data center market is on a strong growth trajectory, and as we navigate the intricacies of policies and regulation and technology advances, which we will be, I'm sure, doing in multiple sessions here, it is critical for all the stakeholders, government, industry, and academia to collaborate together and work closely. Together, we can unlock the full potential of digital economy, ensuring India not only keeps the pace with global development, but becomes one of the leaders and stands at the forefront of innovation and excellence. With this, I would thank once again the Bharat exhibition to give this opportunity, and we will navigate through a lot of these emerging trends and policy matters over the period of the day as we go through. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Oberoi, for your thought-provoking insights on the future of the data centers in India and for sharing your vision of how this industry will shape the digital economy tomorrow. And ladies and gentlemen, our next eminent speaker is Ms. Vishakha Bhattacharya, Head of Public Policy for AWS India and South Asia. Ms. Bhattacharya has been instrumental in navigating complex policy landscapes, and today will be sharing with us insights into data sovereignty, localization, and how AWS is supporting India's regulatory framework. Please welcome Ms. Vishakha Bhattacharya for the industry address.
And thank you for your patience. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you to the organizers for having me. Grateful to the dignitaries on the dais, as well as each one of you who've braved the gray morning air in Delhi to be with us. Speakers before me have actually laid out a wonderful context leading into some of the details that I'll be covering in this talk. And I work for a company called Amazon Web Services. We are we provide cloud computing services. A little bit about Amazon Web Services before we dive in. We pioneered the concept of cloud before it was even called cloud computing, and that's why we have a name which says Amazon Web Services. Sometimes we are mistaken for, providing website development services, but those are in early days. In these 18 years, we have learned a lot from our customers as well. We have 34 geographic regions across the world. For us, geographic region is not necessarily related to the political boundary, but a geographic region essentially consists of availability zones. And this is what makes Amazon Web Services, design and availability as one of the leaders in the market, which is the concept of availability zone. Every region that we have has more than one availability zone, and each availability zone is a cluster of data centers. So what you have is multiple data centers within the region, and that is what makes one region for AWS. We also work very, very closely with partners and companies across the world who develop services and applications using AWS cloud computing services. And we have more than 130K partners across 200 countries, and more than 70% actually headquartered outside of India. We support security standards and compliance certifications, more than 140 of them, and these could be country-specific, like MeitY empanelment, or C5 in Germany, or IRAP in Australia. We also support sector-specific compliances and certifications, like HIPAA for healthcare, PCI for payments. And of course, one of the founding conditions and principles of our cloud service is that our customers retain complete control and ownership of their data. We offer more than 230 services today. And aligning with the leadership principles of Amazon, which is customer obsession, since 2006, we have reduced our prices 134 times and passed it on to our customers. Our mission in India is empowering builders and business to build a better India. We work with governments, with enterprises, with startups, with not-for-profit, as well as students as we deliver on this mission. We've been investing in India since 2011 actually, but a lot of it has happened in the last 7-8 years. Our commitment to India is long-term. In 2016, we invested in our first region in Mumbai. Just to remind you, it's multiple clusters of data centers in Mumbai. And since then, we have continued to augment our infrastructure as our customers have grown, and as well as offering cloud services from India to them. And more recently, in 2022, we announced the second availability of the second region in Hyderabad to our customers. And we have a planned cumulative investment of 16.4 billion by 2030. One of the things that was mentioned earlier was, the energy guzzling nature of data centers, and that's a reality that we are dealing with. Overall, Amazon actually committed to a promise which is called the Climate Pledge, where we now have more than 500 corporate signatories, which is racing to net zero carbon by 2040, 10 years ahead of the Paris Climate Agreement. We are also approaching sustainability in a very holistic manner. So it's not just about power consumption or green or renewable energy, but also about various aspects. Amazon is the largest corporate purchaser of renewable energy. We already have 920 megawatt of renewable energy capacity invested in India. In 2023, our Indian data centers achieved 100% renewable energy operations. And apart from that, we are looking at becoming water positive, which means that we will give back more water than what we consume, which is either through recycling or even through different projects which we work with the communities. Not just that, even while we are constructing our data centers, we are looking at options of low carbon steel, of more eco-friendly concrete, and also how can one increase the life of servers. From 4 years, we've increased it to 5 years, and the work is still on. This is a very, very important part of the overall Amazon operations, and very, very important, of course, for AWS as we work on our data centers. We've been innovating constantly, and in this age and times, I think we cannot go by without talking about AI. I think, as far as we are concerned, what you see as Amazon in Amazon Shopping, or even the way we manage our supply chain, inventory, all of that actually is supported from insights from ML and AI. Billions of Alexa interactions each week supported by more than 30 machine learning foundational models. And, more than 1 million packages every day is being handled across our fulfillment centers. I thought this video would be of interest to you, how autonomous AI actually is helping drive our fulfillment centers. But more importantly, all of this is actually being powered by compute in AWS and a host of what our AI services offer. So what you see here is automated stocking, automated inventory, and then, of course, autonomous vehicles being transported across fulfillment centers, all examples of how AI actually is in motion and actually being in use. Moving on, for us, AI, as we talk about AI today, AI, if we deconstruct what is AI as the back end of AI, then we have 3 layers. The first one being the infrastructure, where again, it is the massive compute power that is required. And that is where a lot of innovation is happening, because one is looking at innovating at the chip level. In AWS, we have customized chips for training foundational models. And then we have customized chips where you can actually run production workloads. There are 2 different kinds. We are looking at offering better energy efficiencies, lower latencies, and that's the level of innovation that's happening. Apart from that, of course, we also believe in democratizing technology and access to technology. So we also have NVIDIA and other GPUs and other chips as well. The next layer is the tools to build LLMs or other foundational models, or even ML models and learning models. And again, in the spirit of democratizing access, we actually have a host of models. There is no one foundational model that will win today. I think that's a shared understanding in the community. So therefore, while we have Llama, we have Amazon Bedrock, which is a fully managed service, but we also have Claude, Anthropic, Stability. You ask it, it's available. And finally, the application layer, and that is where a lot of the innovation is happening, which is using some of the foundational models to then build applications, which is what many of us are actually seeing. Why India? I think a lot of us have already spoken about it, and this is just re-emphasizing that while there is an unprecedented demand in India, given the startup ecosystem, given the 75 million plus small and medium businesses who are looking to digitize, I think what also makes India unique is the developer ecosystem. It is one of the largest developer ecosystem in the world, which is, I think foundational for any digital innovation, digital India to actually take off. And of course, global impact. I think all of us in this room, we are extremely proud of what we are doing as India. And we really hope that, we achieve our dream of being the 3rd largest economy pretty soon. I think the data and tech policy was, of course, referred to. It is a reality that privacy is a big concern, and so is cybersecurity. Cloud being an intermediary is also then covered under the intermediary liability regime, as well as various standards of AI as foundational models are being built on cloud. And now we have sectoral regulations or regulators who are looking at cloud adoption strategy. It is a fact that India and governments and regulators in India really understand the value that cloud brings in, especially when we are looking at citizen impact at scale, when we are looking at India and our requirements, and therefore we have a lot of tech and policy discussions and developments which are natural, and it's not only in India but it's globally. And of course, one of the defining underpinnings today in our approach is that we are looking at self-reliance, we are looking at enhancing the skill levels, we want investments to come in, and of course, all of us want to be global leaders. And in this data and technology policy landscape, as a cloud service provider, we feel that I think all of these are wonderfully suited for the cloud and achieving the objectives of each of these policies and regulations. For example, privacy concerns. Customers won't buy, won't buy services if data is not properly protected. And this is a Cisco 2010-24 data privacy benchmark study. And this is how foundational and important privacy is globally, and so it is in India. And clearly, the data indicates we need to do so much more for AI. So therefore, when we look at what is propelling cloud and cloud adoption against the backdrop of this policy landscape, I think we need to acknowledge the foundational work that MeitY did when they put out the Meghraj 2013 policy, and then of course in 2016 when they came out with the cloud empanelment framework. It was it was visionary. It helped build in a sense of confidence as cloud service providers were empaneled by the government. They kind of were certified against minimum technical standards, security standards, and of course, certifying that they are providing services locally and processing data locally. Since then, state governments have also followed suit. We have seen Maharashtra, we've seen Telangana, we've seen Punjab putting out some forms of cloud adoption framework. We've seen RBI talking about cloud adoption. We've seen SEBI put out a cloud adoption framework, and I think it's all of these are so important and so enabling for cloud adoption. Undoubtedly, we don't see any of these as impediments, but we see them as enabling, because once there are these statements from the government which indicate that cloud can be adopted, and these are some of the safeguards, I think that really opens doors for companies, enterprises, and regulated entities to think about digital transformation using the cloud. I think one of the things that is foundational and extremely important in this regulatory environment is data ownership and control, something that is often and almost always debated when there is a policy discussion. Ownership of data. I think this is something which is absolutely the truth, that any cloud user owns and retains the ownership of the data. They decide what data will go on the cloud. They will decide the location of the data. And I think that's extremely important, especially because we have localization. And therefore, when users use cloud, they are asked to choose where your data would be. And that is what is guaranteed. Cloud operates in a manner where the user, when they put in their data, they also select the protection mechanisms, how they will protect it. They will also lay down the access rules, which means that the user will decide who will have access rights, what kind of access rights. Is it visibility? Is it downloadable? And all of this gives the user full control. The access management is completely in control of the user. As AWS, we understand that this is extremely important, and we try and, what we have done is we have innovated at a hardware level to ensure that there is no way for a cloud service provider even to peep into the customer data. And I think that's a very important point that we see being discussed. What we call as nitro technology, we've separated at a hardware level the data plane and the control plane. And while the control plane is where you decide on access management and everything, the data plane is where the customer's data resides, and the cloud service provider, even if they want to, even if a AWS employee wants to play truant, they will be stopped from doing it. The system won't allow it. And this is not just our claim. We've also got a third-party affirmation attestation of this claim recently. I think all of these become extremely important because what we are seeing is a tipping point for AI. AI has been around for decades. There is no doubt that what we see in AI is built on foundations of, some people say 30 years research, some people say 50 years research, but that's a fact. What's changed? What's changed is that I think we have enormous amounts of data. There is a statistics that I read that there is 90% of world's data was collected in the last 2 or 3 years. And then there is amazing, development in mathematics and algorithms. But most importantly, underpinning all of this is, the availability of massive compute power, which, of course, is being provided by the cloud, and a lot of innovation at the hardware level. But it's extremely important as we move on in this technology realm, whether it's AI, whether trying to derive insights from data through analytics. I think it's important to find a balance between expected benefits and emerging risks and challenges. And this is what is something that all of us in this room, but even outside, have to acknowledge and work towards. It's not just a responsibility of the developer. It's also the responsibility of the deployer, and sometimes we see that it's as much a responsibility of the user. For AI, we have seen a very unique approach that's playing out globally. It is of collaboration. It's of collaboration between industries, between governments, on multilateral platforms, on industry initiatives, and we believe that this AI, the technology being at the stage that it is, this is not only beneficial, but possibly the best way, where there is a shared learning, there is a shared objective, and the industry works towards it. We, of course, have a commitment towards responsible AI, where we are advancing, the science underlying responsible AI. We are through technology, through our services, transforming responsible AI from theory to practice, and also working with our customers. And education is extremely, extremely important for all of us. These are some of the technology response that we have, as users, when they use AI services on AWS, they actually have the tool to create guardrails, which will prevent, for instance, accidental disclosure of personal data, which will prevent any inflammatory language being in the output, and even model evaluation, bias, and frankly, what we also realized is that every model has its optimal operation range, and therefore we have what's called AI service cards, that if there is a customer who is using AI models, then they should know in which the realm in which they perform the best. And I think these are some of the approaches that will also give a lot of confidence to our regulators, to the government, as technology evolves. For cloud, we of course have a lot of these evolving themes, which is data residency, operator access, and resilience and survivability. I think resilience is also a very, very important part which is being addressed not only through data center design and deployment, but also how you architect your services, how you architect your applications, and how you ensure that there is a disaster recovery, but also a business continuity plan. Security was another point that was made, and I just want to mention that at least at AWS, and I think increasingly in the industry, security is definitely the top priority. It comes in before everything else. It is what we call job zero. It is not as if, once you have demonstrated you're secure, that's the end of the job. It just keeps on and on. At least in cloud services, in AWS, what we adopt is a multi-layered approach to security, which means that there is no single point of failure. It's a very typical, military strategy from the Middle Ages, but it continues to be very, very effective. So, for instance, it's not just about network authentication, but it's also about ID authentication, device authentication, and so much more. And we're doing a lot along with industry, on standards. We're looking at observability tools. We're looking at, tools that help you monitor across clouds, multi-clouds, on-prem, so that one can ingest data and then, develop insights using some of the analytics to it. In India, I think I'll just spend a few minutes here. I think India has been an amazing journey. Amazing journey, and I think we've shown it to the world what we can do on the citizen scale platforms. I think all of us should be very, very proud about it, but these also demonstrate the power of cloud today. So I think with that, I would like to end it. I've been warned that I've taken everybody's time, but thank you so much for your patient hearing.
Yes, sir. We'll have later, sir. Thank you. And thank you, ma'am, for sharing your insights into data localization, which were truly invaluable. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is our privilege to invite our guest of honor, Shri Atul Sinha ji, DDG BTU, from the Department of Telecommunications, Government of India. With extensive experience in telecommunications, Shri Sinha will speak on the crucial role of telecommunications in advancing cloud infrastructure and data centers. Please put your hands together to welcome our guest of honor, Shri Atul Sinha ji.
Office bearers of Broadband Forum India, Brigadier Anil Tandon, Mr. Anand, Mr. Debashish. Today's functions a special guest of honor, Shri Arvind Kumar ji, Director General of Software Technology Park of India. Mr. Shashi Dharan, Managing Director, Bihar Exhibitions. Mr. Prashant Oberoi, Director of Norden Communication. Ms. Vishakha Bhattacharya, Head Public Policy, AWS India. The participants of this very important conference. Good morning to all of you. It's a great honor for me to address this conference of brilliant minds at this 10th annual conference on next generation cloud and data centers. Friends, as we stand here today, we actually stand at the cusp of a digital revolution where technology is reshaping industries, economies, and societies. You all will agree that India's digital journey in last one and a half decades has nothing been short of extraordinary. The Government of India's digital initiatives has set an ambitious goal to transform India into a digitally empowered society and a digitally empowered nation. At the heart of this transformation lies a robust and resilient digital infrastructure powered by advanced cloud and data center technologies. And that is why I say this conference today has great significance in building the digital societies that we aspire for, that this country aspires for. We all know and agree the data centers have emerged as the lifeblood of our digital economy today. It's the backbone of our digital infrastructure, powering everything from e-governance to healthcare, to banking, to finance, to education, to health, to agriculture. Every aspect of our life is touched some way or the other by data centers. As the volume and velocity of data continue to grow exponentially, the demand for efficient and scalable data center is soaring every day, and here we are to discuss how to meet those requirements. With the increasing demand for digital services, our collective focus on expanding and streamlining data centers and cloud infrastructure is more critical than ever before. These facilities are integral to supporting seamless connectivity, safeguarding data, and ensuring rapid access to digital services. As we advance towards a digitally empowered India, we understand the need for policies that simplify processes for infrastructure development. Friends, all of you must have gone through the Government of India's data center policy, which is crafted to foster a conducive environment for data center growth with emphasis on single window clearance. This new framework seeks to eliminate the complexities traditionally associated with establishing data centers, streamlining regulatory approvals, and expediting infrastructure deployment. The single window clearance mechanism that has been envisaged in the latest data center policy is designed to support businesses, attract international investments, and catalyze innovation by providing a clear, structured pathway for data center operators. This simplification is not just an administrative improvement. It reflects Government of India's commitment to creating a predictable, business-friendly environment that can accelerate India's position as a global data hub. With clear processes and transparent regulatory framework, government is trying to remove all obstacles and hurdles to the growth and creating opportunities for both established firms and also to new entrants to flourish and play. Dear participants, data sovereignty, just now, Ms. Vishakha has talked many things about security, data sovereignty, and so on. But all of us know that data sovereignty is a critical element in today's hyper-connected world. As data becomes a valuable asset and sensitive commodity, the Government of India recognizes the importance of protecting national interests while ensuring individual privacy. The principles of data sovereignty and localization embedded within the policies reflect a balanced approach to data governance. This approach safeguards critical data within our national borders while supporting the global nature of digital commerce as well. For business and foreign investors, a clear data localization framework provides the assurance of compliance with Indian laws and regulations. The localization requirements, particularly for critical sectors such as banking, healthcare, and national security, are designed to enhance data security and align with global best practices. We believe this regulatory approach ensures that India's data policies are both robust and conducive to economic growth, making India an attractive location for data storage and processing while protecting our citizens' digital identities. Friends, India's digital economy is expected to reach a value of $1 trillion in next few years, with data centers and cloud services serving as pivotal components. The explosion of internet uses, rapid adoption of mobile devices, and the rise of data-intensive applications in AI, IoT, and big data analytics are driving unprecedented demand for data storage and processing. To meet this demand, we certainly need to continuously evolve our data infrastructure. Our Department of Telecommunication is actively engaging with industry leaders, technology experts, and academic institutions to explore future-ready solutions. By adopting next-generation technologies like edge computing, AI-driven data management, and 5G-ready data centers, we are laying the groundwork for a resilient, scalable digital ecosystem that can support India's growth. All of you know that complete softwareization of 5G core network and the requirement of ultra-low latency applications today has paved the way in a very big way for edge computing and for inviting installation of data centers at district level or probably at the state level. And this is a challenge also and an opportunity as well. Because moving ahead, the way our data consumption has increased in last 3-4 years, we are one of the highest data download country. We are one of the cheapest data download country, 9 rupees per GB. And we are consuming almost more than 25 GB per customers. That is highest across the globe. And it's going to increase only. And therefore, caching of data certainly requires caching of, largely it is OTT and entertainment data. That certainly needs and paves the way for having data centers at a much lower level, maybe at the state headquarters level and probably at the district headquarters levels also going ahead. However, friends, the path to becoming a global data center powerhouse is not without challenges. My previous speakers have also mentioned a lot about challenges. Energy consumption, data security, and the skill gap today that we have in India are some of the major hurdles we must try to overcome. But if there are hurdles, there are challenges, these challenges also present opportunities for innovation, for sustainable growth, for employment, for economic growth, and so on. We all know to address the energy challenges, we have to embrace green data centers, leveraging renewable energy sources and energy efficient technologies. I was very happy to see the presentation of Ms. Bishakha, where she has tried to exhibit that how AWS is trying to create a path of using renewable energy sources in India, and what a big investment they are doing. We really appreciate, and we call for many other data center operators to please take a similar path of using renewable energy resources, because globally, power consumption of data centers is becoming a big question and big debate. By adopting AI-powered optimization techniques, we can significantly reduce power consumptions and minimize our carbon footprints of data centers. Data security is paramount in today's interconnected world. Robust cybersecurity measures, including encryption, access controls, and threat detection, are essential to protect sensitive data from cyber attacks. The velocity of cyber attacks, despite all the steps that are being taken by the advancement of the technologies, the cyber attackers are certainly moving one step ahead than us, and certainly finding out ways and means to dupe us and to penetrate into our data centers. That is a matter of real big concern, and all of us sitting here in this conference must try to deliberate upon and on this specific issue, this specific challenge. We must also invest in talent development to build a skilled workforce capable of safeguarding our digital infrastructure. I was just mentioning before this the session started to Ms. Vishaka sitting before me, by the side of me, that few weeks back, I was trying to find out an expert in data center who can do some sizing and sizing work, dimensioning work for me for data safe house concept for telecom regulatory data sandbox. And let me tell you that I could really not somehow reach to an expert who can help me in that. So believe me that the skill in this area of operation is highly lacking in this country, and we really need to think about those, filling up those skill gap. Of course, that is an opportunity for employment also. Today's discussion on data centers, policy, data sovereignty, and future trends will certainly provide us with a roadmap to navigate these challenges. By focusing on energy-efficient infrastructure, securing our digital borders, and fostering the skills needed for a digital-first economy, we can make great strides in realizing the vision of a digitally inclusive and empowered India. We at government understand that public-private partnerships and continuous dialogue with the stakeholders are essential and necessary for effective policy makings. In past, initiatives like National Broadband Mission, production-linked incentive schemes of government have been designed to accelerate the deployment of data infrastructure, foster innovation, and enhance the manufacturing ecosystem within India, and it has yielded very good results also. These initiatives align with our long-term goal of transforming India into a digitally autonomous and economically vibrant nation. India has the potential to become a global leader in the data center industry. By addressing the challenges, seizing the opportunities, and fostering collaboration, we can create a sustainable, secure, and efficient digital future for India. I extend my sincere gratitudes to the organizers for giving me an opportunity to express my views in this August gathering. I express my thanks to the participants, speakers, and organizers. I am sure that your insight, expertise, and perspective would be invaluable as we work together to shape India's digital future. Let us work together, come together to build a robust digital infrastructure that empowers our citizens, drive economic growth, and solidifies India's position as a global digital powerhouse. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, sir, for your inspiring words and for emphasizing the importance of the robust telecommunication network in powering the digital infrastructure in India. And ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor now to welcome our special guest of honor, Shri Arvind Kumarji, Director General of Software Technology Parks of India. Shri Kumar has been a pioneer in promoting innovation and technology in the country. And we request you, sir, to kindly share your perspectives on how STPI is supporting the growth of cloud and data center infrastructure. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our special guest of honor, Shri Arvind Kumarji.
Thank you. Good morning. DDG BTU, Department of Telecom, Sri Atul Sinha ji, tech veteran and my previous boss, Sri S.N. Gupta sir, other dignitaries on the dais, dignitaries of the dais. I can see some very familiar face from my telecom journey. Sandeep ji, Rajkumar ji from C. and so many others. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a really proud privilege to be part of this very important conference today. First of all, I would like to congratulate Sasi. I think this is 10th annual conference. He has envisaged this issue, clouds and data center, 10 years back. And we start thinking maybe 3 years, 4 years back about the cloud services. But he was always time ahead, and he thought about this very conference 10 years back. So he deserves really big congratulations from all of us. As we all aware, India is in the threshold of, you can say, from emerging economy to developed economy, and digital at its core. Yesterday, I think Deputy Governor RBI was saying, today we have this digital economy share in GDP is 1/10, and by 2026, he says it will be 1/5. So digital economy share in 2 years is going to be double in this our GDP. This is what the government ambition is, government target is. And government has already fixed a target of Viksit Bharat by 2047, though very challenging task, but much desirable, much achievable. Today we have GDP per capita maybe $2,500. We have to go for 25,000, maybe 10 times more what today we have. I think this is digital by which we can achieve the target which has been fixed by Government of India. When we say digital, I think so cloud, we can't think digital without today data centers and cloud services. Though there is a little perception that this data center, cloud services are the job, or the market, or the business for hyperscalers, which is not actually true. This hyperscaler could be, if we divide into 3 layers, they could play a very major role. We are maybe much behind to them, maybe in technology core layer. But over and above, there will be 2 more layers, which could be capacity enhancement, which could be value enhancement, and we have been pioneered in this. Today we have, from IT/ITES services, 50% of the market in IT/ITES services with India, and we are exporting. Our export revenue from IT/ITES services is more than $200 billion. So we have done wonders. We can do in capacity enhancement. We can add number of additional functionality, which is required to be done for providing cloud services. In value enhancement, we can again contribute a lot. We can provide multiple end user services. And this is perhaps only thing which is cloud services, which will increase the employment. Generally, when the technology comes, there is a fear that technology comes, what will happen to employment? Which never been true, but there is always a fear when the technology starts coming, whether it is when computer came in this country or today AI is coming. But the cloud, which will, by inherently, there's a property of the cloud services, you have to have multiple additional functionality to be added for each and every service. And similarly, value services, value-added services also required to be added. And we have done excellent job when it comes to logically thinking, creating some good services which is user-friendly, which is consumer-friendly. We don't believe much in creating, like Western world, creating first modeling. Till they create the models, we create the solutions. And this is what solutions are required when it comes to cloud services, when it comes to over and above the technology core by adding the additional functionalities, or by enhancement to provide the end-user services. So I'll talk, there are 4 trends which is actually emerging for the cloud services and how those 4 trends can generate a lot of employment and lot of business opportunity in this country. First trend which is very much emerging is AI/ML integration in cloud services. Till now what is happening was this AI/ML was a different domain. People are not integrating with the cloud services. So this is a trend which is emerging in 2 parts. One is AI/ML integration in cloud services, and the second is now AI models are being accessed through cloud as well. So these 2 big trend which is coming and which is going to provide a very big opportunity to all the youngsters, all the tech guys of this country. By which you can have your personal advisors, you can optimize your resources, you can have personalized tutors. All the personalized services you can start giving through cloud services when AI and ML models are integrated with the cloud services. Second is, everything is going to provide as a service. So second trend which is emerging is the everything as a service. What will happen out of it? Everything will become flexible and you can scale. When something you provide, everything you start providing, emerging as a service, then naturally you can scale it up, you can make it agility. There are a lot of benefit when you provide starting as a service. So this is a second trend which is very much emerging in the cloud domain. Third, which is very important change which we can see is now people start thinking about the multi-cloud. In the beginning, when everybody was thinking that you have one hyperscaler, when he can provide all the services, then why you think in terms of any other cloud provider, which is actually neither good for the technology development. Multi-cloud, what will happen? Everything become interoperable. If you remember starting, this wallet came. So you can't transfer money from one wallet to wallet because you think I have the one wallet and other person who is going to take money should also have that wallet. And since it was not interoperable, it was never scaled up. The UPI which came, by design it was the interoperable, it has succeeded. Today, you know how many transactions we have in this country. We have created records and we are breaking our own records every month. This is how. So when it comes to multi-cloud, it will be interoperable. Once it becomes the interoperable, it will scale up. This is the third trend which is very much emerging today in the cloud service domain. So therefore, we will be shifting to native CSP approach to maybe container approach. And this will be very good for the scalability and for creating multiple solutions. Why should be dependent? One service we would like to give from one hyperscaler, another service we would like to give from another hyperscalers. Doesn't matter where I am. This all services can be integrated by the one cloud service providers. And fourth trend which is coming is the edge computing. Because today, if you really want automated car, driverless car, if you really want your health data has to be analyzed in the real time. If you really want number of multiple applications which require real-time data, if you want one computer on your dashboard of the car, which will be as powerful as the supercomputer had been maybe 10 years back, and this will analyze all the data in the real time. This is the fourth trend which is emerging in the edge computing domain. This is all four trend, and all four trend is finally going to create a lot of business opportunity, lot of employment opportunity, and lot of technology development. And we are so well placed. We have so much talent in this country. All talent, existing talent, thanks to IT company, they have created a lot of talent in this country, and that talent has to unlearn and learn new things. Today, now age is no bar. I can learn, you can learn, experience doesn't matter. In this technology domain, everybody is technology savvy, everybody wants to learn, and this is how, doesn't matter how much experience you have. So you have to just unlearn, learn, and adapt the new things. This is how it is going to happen. Everybody will become the first, we can say first revolution came when, in the beginning, everything, history repeats itself type. Initially, there was a mainframe computer. Everybody was working, taking a dumb terminal and working on it because computing cost was too high. Then, first revolution came, enterprise software came. So everybody has the whole software in their desktop, and everybody feel empowered that, yes, I can do whatever I want to do. I have all processor speed, memory, everything in my laptop or my desktop. This is the first set of revolution which came to this world. And then what happened? Now today, again you want to go back, everything is in cloud, and you want to have the dumb terminal at your end. So this is whole history repeat itself. This is what is going to happen. Everybody will have, maybe in different format. Our ancestor used to wear the cotton shirts, then become terracotta, saloon, this thing, polyester, everything. Now again we are looking for the good cotton. Maybe in a different format. Same thing is happening when it comes to technology. So we were having the mainframe computers, dumb terminal, enterprise software, but the difference which I can today see is that now this new technologies, artificial intelligence, which has, you're not required to have learn the Pascal, Fortran, or any other language. Your English, your language can become the coding language. You can generate your own models. And this is, when I was in college, so when my teacher was teaching me the Pascal, I said this computer can understand Pascal. Why we have to learn the Pascal? Why cannot that computer can understand what I speak in Hindi or English? He says he can only understand when something is structured, syntactically programmed, something like that. But today the time has come. My computer can understand English. What I want to create the model, I can create. There's no need to understand any language. So this is the revolution. Therefore, I am saying age is not bar. If you have the idea doesn't matter how much data capacity you have. Now computing, how much computing capacity you have doesn't matter. Everybody has the computing capacity. Memory doesn't matter. Whether you have idea or not. Anything which has the value, that is idea. So if you have an idea, you can create business and you can work on that business. You can create employment. You can have the very good business. With this, I would say this discussion, maybe today's discussion, will lead to maybe some bold innovation and maybe some strategic collaboration also. And even today, if this whole discussion, we can give some recommendations to the government of India, how this whole sovereign cloud has to be defined, how this public cloud, everything is now appears to be public cloud, but now we are seeing other versions of the clouds also. It could be sovereign cloud, it could be on-premise cloud. So if we can find out some good definition after this discussion, what should be the sovereign cloud? Every country is looking towards India when you are going to define the sovereign cloud. Because sovereign cloud is the thing which every country wants to define, but nobody has the definition how to create. They have defined, some of the countries define in their own manner, which cannot be applicable to many other countries. Many countries are looking towards India how to define the sovereign cloud. If we can, this collaboration, this meeting today conference can bring some recommendation to the government, what should be the definition of sovereign cloud? This will be great help for the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed, sir, for your valuable insights in the technological advancements and innovation in India's cloud landscape. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I have the privilege in inviting Brigadier Anil Tandon, Director General of the Broadband India Forum, to kindly propose the vote of thanks.
Distinguished dignitaries on the dais, Shri Arvind Kumar, DG STPI, Shri Atul Sinha, DDG, BTU, DOT headquarters. Visakha Bhattacharya, Head Public Policy, AWS, India and South Asia. Mr. Prashant Oberoi, Director, India and SAC, Norden Communications. Mr. S.N. Gupta, a Senior Office Bearer from BIF. And Mr. Sheshi Dharan, the MD, Bharat Exhibition. Distinguished delegates from the government, industry, academia, professional institutions, members from the media, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning to all of you. It's both an honor and a privilege to extend a heartfelt vote of thanks on behalf of the entire organizing committee. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to all our esteemed speakers, guests, dignitaries, media friends for joining us for this Cloud and Data Center Conference. Broadband India Forum, which is a co-organizer for this event, lays a special emphasis on data centers as they feel that data centers has a key role to play in the growth of data infrastructure in India. So as it happens to be a key thrust area for BIF, we have decided to constitute a special committee to focus on data centers and address issues on policy, regulation, technology, and other aspects. I wish to take this opportunity to invite all stakeholders who are present here and attending today's session to kindly reach out to us and join us in our endeavor to take the discussions forward. Let me now start on the formal thanking our special guest of honor, Shri Arvind Kumar, DG STPI. We are truly grateful for you, sir, for your gracious presence here and delivering the keynote address. Your insights into the functioning of data centers and vision for the future have set the tone for today's discussion, especially you're trying to lay down the 4 emerging trends and how everything would now become a service rather than, just would go towards becoming a service. I would also like to extend my thanks to Shri Atul Sinha. I've had the privilege of engaging in detailed discussions with you on the National Digital Communication Policy NDCP 25, and I deeply appreciate your thorough approach and valuable contribution to this event. I'd like to thank Mr. Atul Sinha for elaborating on the government initiatives for making the whole data center growth, the ease of doing business in the growth of data centers. He, from the government side, has elaborated on this and also on the single window clearance. A special thanks to you, Mrs. Visakha Bhattacharya, Head of Public Policy, AWS in India, South Asia, for taking time to provide us with such comprehensive insights into the growth of data centers in particular, in India, particularly as Amazon is a key stakeholder in this area. It was very heartening to note that 920 megawatts of renewable energy capacity in India is now being used by you because, as Mr. S.N. Gupta brought out, one of the issues with the data centers is the high power consumption and how we have to get to using the renewable energy as a source. Thank you very much on providing your perspective on the importance of data infrastructure and the actions you are taking towards data privacy, data security, and the impact of AI on the data centers. My heartfelt thanks to Mr. Prashant Oberoi, Director, India and SAC, Norden Communications, for your contribution to today's discussions and for sharing your valuable perspectives on the data center ecosystem. During your talk, you mentioned of the great data growth due to the growth in the data consumption by the mobile operators. But I think, yes, India is a mobile-centric country, 95% are mobile subscribers. But we look at India moving from 40 million FTTH customers to about 120 million FTTH customers in the next 5 years or so. And each FTTH customer would add about 10 times more data than the mobile customer. So the growth of data is going to be exponential, and the need for data centers and the associated data infrastructure is going to be huge. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank Mr. S.N. Gupta, one of my colleagues in BIF and chair of the Rural Digital Initiatives Committee of the Broadband India Forum, for delivering the introductory address. Your leadership in the field of communications, Satyanji, is always appreciated. You're well recognized. I would also like to thank all the sponsors of the conference: Norden, AWS, VP Group, Astrikos, Siemon, TechBridge, Ananta, EKAGA, L&T, Cloudfinity, and TechSpire for their valued support, and also our media partner, Communications Today. And in the end, of course, I cannot miss Mr. Shashidharan of Bharat Exhibitions for organizing this workshop. And as the chief guest brought out, that he looks ahead. This is the 10th version of the data center. Truly, the hockey stick of the data centers is just happening. We have seen him being a leader not only here, but also a person who's been introduced the 5G conferences many years before we could think of it. In conclusion, I extend my appreciation to all the attendees for your engagement and active participation. Together, we are shaping the future of India's digital ecosystem, and I'm confident that today's discussions will go a long way in advancing our shared goals. If I can take 1 minute more and to share my personal experience of the impact of data centers. As a CTO of Idea Cellular, in somewhere in the mid-2000s, when I was leasing the international bandwidth, I would lease about 80% of my total bandwidth requirement on international media routes. That is submarine cables. Come towards the later half in 2018, and with the Google, Akamai, and all the other caching and everything data coming into it, as an operator, so as an IS, which would impact all ISPs and TSPs, the ratio reversed. Less than 20% was bandwidth, and the rest of it was more of, the domestic. So I think that is the impact that the data centers will have, at least on the ISPs and the TSPs. Yes, for the hyperscalers, they would need that international bandwidth to have brought the data into India. Thank you once again to everybody, and I look forward to an engaging conference today. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, sir, for kindly conveying your gratitude to all our eminent speakers and participants. I would now like to request Mr. Shashidharan to kindly do the honors of presenting a token of gratitude to all our distinguished guests. I request you, sir, to present. And I'm extremely sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I would first request Shri Arvind Kumarji, our guest of honor, to kindly present a token of gratitude to our guest. I request you, sir, to honor our guest of honor, Shri Atul Senaji. I request you, sir, to kindly present a token of gratitude to Ms. Bishaka Bhattacharya. And to Mr. Prashant Oberoi. Thank you, sir. I would request Mr. Shashidharan to do the honors of presenting it to our special guest of honor, Shri Arvind Kumarji. Thank you, sir. And may I request all our dignitaries on the dais to kindly come together in the front for a group photograph, please. So, ladies and gentlemen, with this we conclude our inaugural session. Thank you all to all our distinguished speakers and guests for sharing their invaluable insight. and thank you all for your participation. We will now be taking a short break for refreshments and networking. Please take this opportunity to connect with our fellow delegates and exchange ideas. We will resume the session in about 15 minutes from now. We request you all to kindly be seated back in time. Thank you, sir.